You took the money for the kid's surgery to pay for your sister's wedding. Do you even know what that means? I slammed the bill on the table, my voice cutting like a knife. Diana lowered her head, her voice trembling as usual. It's just family money. We'll save it back. Save it back. I interrupted her, walking to the door and pulling on my coat. The doctor said yesterday, the opening is next month. Tonight is the only night we can pay the deposit. Do you know what that means? I threw the keys into the bowl, the metallic clatter sounding like a verdict. Melissa shrugged, smiling as if nothing had happened. Family helps each other. Diana is helping me, that's what you do. Don't you also want to put important people first? Her eyes were like a hunting dog, searching for my soft spot. Sophie took a small breath, trying to keep her smile intact. Dad, do we still have money? Her voice was fragile, almost boneless, and I could see her jaw tense. Diana finally looked up at me, and in her eyes, I saw both resolve and fear. I only took a little, she said, her voice paper-thin. Melissa ran out of money for the deposit last time, she had nowhere else to go, that dress. 6,000. I threw the words at her. You transferred Sophie's surgery money straight to the bridal shop's account, and then you celebrated on Instagram. I found the gift receipts in your bag, Diana. You said you would only use your own savings. Her face contorted, like a startled animal. Melissa rolled her eyes beside her. Weddings cost money. Don't be stingy. Sophie's eyes began to water. Tommy grabbed my hand. Dad, can you help her? I didn't speak anymore. I pulled the kids into my arms. That night, Sophie buried her face in my chest, crying. Dad, it hurts so much. When will it stop hurting? I felt my heart shatter, turning under a wrench with a brittle snap. You're always too anxious. It was the first time Diana used her sister's words to dismiss me, smiling in front of the kids. Over the years, these words had rained down on our family like a drizzle. At the school gate, she would politely respond to others. On holidays, she would pick gifts for Melissa while Sophie wiped her mouth in the corner. On weekends, she would be a bridesmaid for Melissa, missing Tommy's parent-teacher meetings. I recalled each humiliation in memory. Once, Tommy had a fever, and Diana left me with the neighbor to attend Melissa's party in high heels. Sophie was stopped by neighbors in summer, asked why she didn't smile, her jaw hurt. I counted bills and every appointment Diana skipped for Melissa. Once I yelled, "Are you even our mother?" She publicly called me unreasonable. That humiliation felt like a tide swallowing me whole. But humiliation can sometimes be a catalyst rather than the end. I began collecting evidence, not for revenge, but to protect my children. At night, I stared at bank statements. During the day, I repeatedly called Grandma, asking her to step in at crucial moments. Her voice carried both pity and anger. How could she do this? The kids are still so young. How are you going to help them? I said, I'll handle everything. She won't have the chance again. At work, I was no pushover either. Colleagues said I was too soft, that family life drained my energy for promotion, but I pulled projects back on track with diligence. In a meeting, I laid out the data clearly. These are the growth points we can achieve. Execute according to my plan. Clients nodded. My supervisor's expression shifted from doubt to respect. I remembered that sense of power, using facts to crush doubt and presenting results for all to see. You have the ability to protect the kids, Grandma said, patting my shoulder. Let her know there's a cost for doing as she pleases. I nodded. That night, I placed copies in a drawer, bank statements, receipts, Instagram screenshots, and a record of every time she had neglected family obligations for Melissa. I didn't tell anyone what I was planning. I simply prepared it, like tucking a fire starter into my pocket, waiting for the spark. I knew revenge wasn't about blowing everything up, but about shining sunlight on the truth so lies had nowhere to hide. My plan wasn't reckless, it was precise. First, ensuring Sophie's surgery proceeded. Second, letting those Diana cared about see her chronic neglect and financial misuse, her social circle, friends, even a formal record that could influence custody and family arrangements. Why not just call the police, you might ask? I didn't want the kids dragged into a criminal investigation, nor did I want them bearing the shame of parental litigation. What I needed were practical outcomes, safety, financial security, and a clear lesson for Diana on the consequences of losing control. During preparation, I spoke more with the kids. In the morning, I called Sophie into the kitchen. "Sophie, what do you want for school lunch today? Don't you like the soft bread?" She said, "Dad, can you help me eat ice cream? I haven't had it in a long time." I smiled and agreed. With Tommy, I was even more patient. "Tomorrow we'll go to the library and pick a big book, okay?" He cheered and hugged my leg. I gave them more attention and physical comfort, building their sense of safety. Meanwhile, I coordinated with Grandma and a few trusted friends, when to pick up the kids, how to handle the finances for the deposit, and how to apply for a temporary court order if necessary. Everything had backups and alternatives. Melissa and Diana still believed they controlled the situation, unaware we had already placed our pieces on the board. That night, "Do you want to go to the fitting room? We can stop by." Melissa texted, trying to probe my weakness. Diana replied instantly with a smile and 2 heart emojis. I replied, "We have other plans." I closed the phone and took a deep breath. The day of action arrived. I called Grandma with a code, 3 short, 2 long. "Ready. Are the kids taken?" she asked. "They are," I said, my voice calm, steady, like presenting at the office. That night, Grandma and her neighbor gently placed the kids in the car, curtains drawn, like escorting young birds to safety. I watched the shadows vanish from the driveway and locked the door. Diana's phone blew up with messages. "Where are the kids? What have you done? We said we would decide together." I sat at the kitchen table, spreading the printed emails and screenshots, like a lawyer organizing evidence. Every bill had notes, explaining the time, amount, and purpose. Every record could be explained logically: bank copies, transfer receipts to the bridal shop, Melissa's Instagram celebrations, Diana's "I'll pay back" messages. The chain of evidence was like brown thread, linking the facts inseparably. I transferred the surgery deposit to the account I'd prepared. I called the hospital coordinator to confirm Sophie's admission and pre-op arrangements. "Yes, sir, we received the deposit. Surgery is scheduled for the 10th of next month. Pre-op checks are arranged." The professional warmth in the coordinator's voice reassured me. Next came the crucial step: contacting Diana's social circle, colleagues, close friends, even a few of Melissa's friends, with a concise, factual email. I wrote cleanly, without emotion. "Hello, I am Sophie's father. The following is important information. Diana transferred $6,000 from a joint account designated for Sophie's surgery to a bridal shop account. This amount was spent on Melissa's wedding. We have arranged Sophie's surgery and obtained necessary assistance. For further information, please contact me or the hospital." Attached, evidence. Within the first hour, Diana began receiving questions. Her phone vibrated constantly: private messages, colleagues' concern, even cold queries from Melissa. She tried to explain, "It's old money, I'll pay it back," but screenshots circulated, and private doubts grew. I didn't join the discussion. At home, Diana returned to see the printed emails on the table. She looked drained, grabbing a sheet. This is private," she stammered. "This is fact," I said, standing and pushing the evidence forward. "You may explain, but you cannot erase what you did. You diverted the kid's surgery money for a wedding. This isn't opinion, it's accounting." She sank to the floor, hands over her face. "You don't understand her situation. Melissa had no way, I was just helping, anyone would, her voice wavered with both plea and guilt. I lifted her gently, calm. You helped her, but you forgot whose life is more important. You forgot the daily pain on Sophie's face. You forgot you are the mother of 2 children. You forgot your promises. The aftermath unfolded quickly. Melissa's first reaction was anger. She called, scolding me for dragging her into family chaos. But as friends and colleagues saw the evidence, attitudes shifted from support to doubt. Diana's supervisor began asking privately if her family situation might affect work. Office rumors spread like wind within days. The most obvious change was in the family. The kids thrived at grandma's. Sophie, post-surgery, enjoyed ice cream for the first time without fear. Tommy ran in the garden, shouting, "Dad, look," without a trace of night wakings. Grandma sent photos of sunlight on their hair, showing real, ordinary peace. Diana wandered the house like someone trapped in a glass box. She called Melissa, crying for forgiveness, trying to restore their friendship. Melissa kept her distance, aware of the betrayal. Diana's world of control was cracking. I wasn't enjoying her panic, I was observing justice, a long-term, unbalanced relationship exposed by reality and accounting, like opening a long-sealed window, letting the wind sweep away the dust. Once, Diana knelt in Grandma's yard before Sophie, grabbing her small hand, sobbing. "I'm sorry, baby. I'll return the money. We can fix this." Sophie looked at her, eyes cold as knives. "Mom, why did you make my pain a joke?" Diana's hands trembled. She could only clutch her knees and cry. Grandma stood calmly, "The kids are safe. Consider your choices." Diana's impotent rage became more evident. She went to the bridal shop, yelling and threatening cancellations. Staff calmly showed the transaction records. She called Melissa, who maintained distance, "You fix this yourself." Former alliances cut by reality, leaving only blame and fear. I received a lawyer's text, "You can request a temporary protective order to restrict Diana's access to joint accounts." I replied, "Not necessary for now, but keep it as an option." I didn't want to turn the family into a courtroom drama. I wanted repair and boundaries, not destruction. But I also would ensure the children's interests within the law. Gradually, Diana faced consequences. Her credit applications were affected, friends questioned her integrity, even her standing in the neighborhood deflated. Meanwhile, the kids adapted to safety without her. They turned to Grandma, no longer immediately expecting her return. They didn't trust her promises blindly. "I'll make it up. Everything will be fine," she said on the phone, voice breaking. I answered succinctly, "Compensation isn't trust. Compensation is accounting. Trust is proven by action." Months later, Sophie fully recovered, eating more freely, smiling naturally. Tommy's teacher said during a home visit, "The children seem more relaxed. You've done well." Grandma and I took them to the beach. Sophie picked up seashells, smiling. "Dad, I like now." I hugged her, feeling heavy, lasting calm. Diana repeatedly requested meetings with the children. I allowed visits but set boundaries, family counseling mandatory, no unsupervised outings without psychological records, financial transparency required. She signed several agreements, fingers trembling, sobbing quietly at the lawyer's office. That was her journey to face consequences. Melissa's wedding proceeded, but scaled down. Photos showed Diana's smile forced, unnatural, while whispers circulated in the background. Social media praise diminished. She learned the weight of social trust loss. The ending wasn't violent or hateful. It was a father holding his children, presenting evidence, setting boundaries, reclaiming life. Melissa learned caution in social dealings. Diana faced the price of choices. The kids, with grandma and father, gradually treated pain as past. On Sophie's first post-recovery birthday, she blew out candles, eyes closed. "I hope Mom can get better and eat ice cream with me." I gripped my fork and knife, silently thinking, getting better isn't words, it's a series of choices over time. Outside, evening wind carried the sea's salt. The children's laughter echoed, like repaired rain on a roof, fine, delicate, and real.